He's loaded. Altitude, humidity, temperature.
That's the setup. Take him now. Send in the ERT team. Take out the steam.
My name is Bob Lee Swagger. I used to be a Marine Scout sniper, but after my government left me and my spotter for dead on a botched mission in Africa, I retired. I built a cabin in the mountains, got a dog, and decided to let the world burn without me. But 3 years later, the government comes knocking on my door. A retired colonel named Johnson tells me they uncovered a plot to assassinate the president from over a mile away. He plays on my patriotism and asks me to survey the upcoming rally locations to figure out how a sniper would pull it off. I think I'm doing my duty, so I map out the perfect vantage point in Philadelphia. That was my first mistake. On the day of the rally, I'm sitting in a room with the authorities, waiting to spot the threat. Suddenly, the trigger is pulled. An archbishop standing right next to the president gets his head blown off. Before I can even process what happened, a corrupt local cop turns around and shoots me twice in the chest. They didn't want my help. They wanted a ghost with a rifle to take the blame. They thought 2 bullets would finish me. They were wrong. I overpower the cop, crash a car into a river, and use my survival training to patch my wounds. Now, the entire country thinks I'm a presidential assassin. I seek shelter with Sarah, the widow of my old spotter, Donnie. She risks everything to nurse me back to health. Meanwhile, a rookie FBI agent named Nick Memphis starts asking the right questions on the news, noticing that a legendary sniper wouldn't miss a target by 3 feet. Because he's digging too close to the truth, the corrupt conspirators kidnap him, planning to stage his suicide. But I'm tracking them. Before they can pull the trigger on Memphis, I ambush the mercenaries, rescue him from danger, and show him the exact ballistics that prove I was set up. Realizing the system is completely rotten, Memphis officially teams up with me to bring them down, because I knew the only way to get to the root of all this and clear my name was to find the shooter. Memphis and I tracked down an old-timer who knew the history of every elite marksman in the game. He started listing off the ghosts, but then he mentioned an old shooter, a guy confined to a wheelchair.
He don't shoot no more. A brutal son of a bitch. Most boys shoot to kill, he'd shoot for fun.
And then it all hits. It turns out that the man we were looking for wasn't just some face in the crowd. He was right there in the room with us, pulling the strings, while simultaneously being the sniper who took the shot. In that split second, the whole memory flashes back, and I realize the threat wasn't outside. It was standing right next to me the entire time. After realizing this, I started making plans to confront the shooter. I stopped by the grocery store, bought specific supplies for an ambush. Meanwhile, the conspirators, always trying to take steps ahead, knew I would come for the shooter. They quietly set a trap for me, hoping to eliminate me. But they didn't stop there. They kidnapped the only person I care about, using her as bait to lure me into an ambush. I knew I was walking into a trap, but I went anyway. I didn't just walk through the front door. I approached the heavily guarded estate with extreme caution, using my years of experience to swiftly take out the guards and neutralize the perimeter security. When I finally entered the house, I met him sitting calmly on a wheelchair expecting my arrival. He doesn't deny his role. He openly tells me he was the sniper who fired the shot in Philadelphia killing the Ethiopian archbishop, the shot looking like an attempt to assassinate the president. It turns out that the Ethiopian archbishop was assassinated because he was going to expose a horrific massacre in a village in Ethiopia, which was carried out to clear to a land for an oil pipeline backed by Senator Meacham and Colonel Johnson, which killed a lot of villagers in the process. Hearing this made me realize this was a large government conspiracy. He also reveals that a heavily armed private military strike team are already closing in on the house to eliminate us both, and because he is trapped by his own physical limitations and knows what Johnson's men do to witnesses, he resorted to taking his life. Immediately after his death, the trap springs shut as the mercenary strike team descends on the house. Having already anticipated this, I triggered my own mechanism, taking them down one by one. I survived the trap and took the fight back to Johnson. I called him and played the audio recording of my conversation with the shooter. Realizing he is about to be caught, he arranged a meeting on a snowy mountain to bargain and settle matters, but I knew it wouldn't be that easy. When we arrived at the mountain, I had Agent Memphis wear a bulletproof vest and dress like me while he walked into the open. Meanwhile, I stayed hidden in camouflage, watching every movement through my scope. Just as I expected, they took the bait. A sniper fired, and Memphis dropped to the ground from a distance. Colonel Johnson smiled, convinced they had finally eliminated me. But they celebrated too soon. The moment their sniper revealed his position, I already had him in my crosshairs. One clean shot, and he was down before he even realized he'd been exposed. I stayed calm, picked my shots carefully, and took them out one by one. Just when it looked like the fight was over, one of Johnson's men grabbed Sarah and pulled her in front of him, using her as a human shield. He believed I wouldn't take the shot. From where I was lying, I could see the only opening he had left, his gun hand. I steadied my breathing, squeezed the trigger, and the bullet tore straight through his hand. His weapon flew from his grip and Sarah broke free. Seeing the threat all gone, I finally walked up to them and they tried to talk me out of it, telling me to hand over the evidence while I take Sarah. Knowing the FBI were tracking us, I took the phone and destroyed it, letting them go and surrendering to the FBI because I knew the only way to punish them for their actions was legally. Or so I thought. I was then brought to a closed-door meeting with the United States Attorney General, Colonel, and FBI Director. To prove my innocence, I made a request for my rifle, which the government think I used in the assassination, be brought in. Then I loaded a live round into the rifle and aimed directly at Colonel Johnson and pulled the trigger. No shot was fired. Then I revealed that anytime I leave home, I always replace the firing pins in my rifles with a slightly shorter modified one, meaning none of my weapons could be fired by anyone except me. While my own charges were finally dismissed, I made sure the truth didn't stay buried. I presented photographs exposing the massacre in the Ethiopian village, the evidence that proved Colonel Johnson and Senator Meacham were responsible for the deaths of innocent civilians. For a moment, I thought justice had finally caught up with them. But then the Attorney General stood, walked over to me, and quietly explained that he couldn't legally prosecute either Johnson or Meacham. The massacre had taken place outside the jurisdiction of the United States, which meant the American legal system had no authority to charge them for those crimes.
I win. You lose. Again.
Just like that, Colonel Johnson walked out of the room a free man. After everything he'd done, he escaped without a single conviction. Watching him leave filled me with anger. At that moment, I realized the courts were never going to deliver the justice those victims deserved, so I knew I would have to find another way. Later that night, while Colonel Johnson and Senator Meacham were celebrating what they believed was their victory, I quietly infiltrated Johnson's remote hideout. I shot and killed Johnson, eliminated his armed bodyguards before turning my attention to Senator Meacham, shot him in the head, ensuring that neither of them would ever escape justice again. Before leaving, I rigged the entire compound with explosives. Moments later, a series of massive explosions tore through the property, reducing the hideout to rubble and destroying the evidence that tied me to what had happened. With the mission finally over, I climbed into a waiting car with Sarah, and together we drove away, leaving the burning compound and the past far behind.